Good afternoon everyone. So we are group 8. We are assigned to tackle about laws, policies, and programs for Philippine women. Here's what you'll find in this topic. What is RA number 97, Magna Carta of Women? What is RA number 7877, Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995? What is RA number 9208, Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003? What is RA number 8353, Anti-Rape Law of 1997? And the last one is, what is RA number 8505, Rape Victim Assistance and Protection Act of 1998?
What is Magna Carta of Women? Republic Act Number 9710. Magna Carta of Women is comprehensive women's human rights law that seeks to eliminate discrimination against women by recognizing, protecting, fulfilling, and promoting the rights of Filipino women, especially those in marginalized sector. So, dito daw sa Republic Act number 9710, isa siyang women's human rights na ang aim is to eliminate discrimination against women, especially those in marginalized sector. And these are urban poor, children, senior citizens, Moro or Islamic faith, persons with disabilities, indigenous people, women, solo parents, and migrant workers. Discriminations against women. Discriminations against women refers to any gender-based distinction, exclusion, or restriction which has the effect of impairing their recognition, enjoyment, exercise by women with freedoms in the political, economic, social, cultural, civil, and other field. So, any gender-based distinction, ito yung parang pag-exclude or pag-restrict sa mga kababayan pagdating sa political, economic, social, cultural, civil, and other field. Any act of omission that directly restricts women on their rights and access to opportunities, benefits, and privileges. Any act of pag-exclude din at pag-restrict sa mga kababaihan pagdating sa kanilang karapatan, mga opportunities, benefits, at mga pribilehiyo. Discrimination compounded with their status and condition such as ethnicity, age, poverty, and religion. Ito naman yung pag-discriminate pagdating sa status such as ethnicity, age, poverty, and religion. So, in short, yung discrimination against women is, ito yung pag-distinct at saka pag-exclude at pag-restrict sa mga kababaihan. Rights of women under Republic Act number 9710. Protection from violence, participation and representation, equal treatment before the law, equal access and elimination of discrimination in education, scholarships, and training. Equal participation in sports, military, police, and similar services. Equal rights in all matters relating to marriage and family relations. Comprehensive health care service. Comprehensive health care services, health information and education, non-discriminatory and non-derogatory portrayal of women in media and film. Penalties of violators. Any person who abuses the privileges granted herein shall be punished with imprisonment of not less than 6 months or fine of not less than 5,000 pesos, but not more than 50,000 pesos, or both. at the discretion of the court. Any person who abuses the privileges granted herein shall be punished with imprisonment of not less than 6 months or a fine of not less than 5,000 pesos, but not more than 50,000 pesos, or both, at the discretion of the court. Importance. It provides that the Philippines government must ensure the substance. Importance. It provides that the Philippines government must ensure the substantive equality of men and women, and mandates the state to take steps to review, amend, or repeal existing laws that are discriminatory towards women. So, the importance ng law is that the government must or will ensure the equality of men and women.
What is Anti-Sexual Harassment of Act 1995 RA number 7877? An act declaring sexual harassment unlawful in the employment, education, or training environment and for other purposes. The purpose of this policy is to prevent and eliminate harassment in the workplace by supervisors, managers, co-workers, contractors, vendors, and any other individual with whom personnel come into contact by virtue of their work with or for the FCC, and to take all necessary steps to avoid harm to an employment. Ang sexual harassment law ay hindi lamang proteksyon para sa mga kababaihan, kundi para rin sa mga kalalakihan. Oo, pwede ring maharas sexually ang mga lalaki. Sino mang direktang magsasagawa ng mga ipinagbabawal na akto, babae man o lalaki, ay maaaring maparusahan sa ilalim ng batas. Ngayon din, sino mang humikayat o tumulong sa iba na isagawa ang manasabing akto ay maaari ring managot sa batas. Here are the examples: verbal harassment, sexual stories, sexual rumors, sexual jokes, requesting for sexual favors. Visual harassment, malicious staring, posters, drawings, pictures, emails or texts or sexual nature. Physical harassment, inappropriate touching, rubbing, impeding or blocking movement, sexual gestures. Penalties of violators. Section 7. Any person who violates the provision of this act shall, upon conviction, be penalized by imprisonment of not less than 1 month nor more than 6 months, or a fine of not less than 10,000 pesos nor more than 20,000 pesos, or both such fine and imprisonment at the discretion of the court. The importance of RA 7877 mandates the employer of the head of the work-related, educational or training environment or institution must provide the procedures for the resolution, settlement, or prosecution of acts of sexual harassment. The employer must create a committee of decorum and investigation of the cases on sexual harassment. It must be emphasized that the demand of a sexual favor need not to be explicit or stated. Although it is true that RA 7877 calls for a demand, request, or requirements of a sexual favor, it is not necessary that the demand, request, or requirements of sexual favor be articulate in a categorical, oral, or written statement.
What is Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003 RA number 9208? An act to institute policies to eliminate trafficking in persons, especially women and children, establishing the necessary institutional mechanism for the protection and support of the trafficked persons, providing penalties, its violations, and for others. So, ano nga ba ito? Ito ay isang batas na ipinasa para wakasan ang trafficking in persons, lalo na sa mga babae at mga bata. How trafficking in persons occurs. First column, the act or what is done. First, recruitment, harboring, receipt of persons, adoption, birth, transportation, transfer, hiring, simulation, with or without the victim's consent or knowledge, within or across national borders.
In this column, kasama lahat ng recruitment, pagkuha, pag-hire, pagbibigay, pag-alok, transportasyon, paglipat, pagpapanatili, harboring, or pagtanggap ng taong mayroon man o walang pahintulot ng biktima o kaalaman sa loob at labas ng bansa. The second column, the means or how it is done. First, threat or use of force, coercion, abduction, fraud, deception, abuse of power or of position, taking advantage of the vulnerability of the person, giving or receiving of payments or benefits. This column, ito ay nagagawa sa pamamagitan ng pagbabanta o kapag may kasamang puwersa o iba pang mga bagay katulad ng mga coercion, abduction, fraud, deception, abuso, ng kapangyarihan o posisyon, pagsasamantala sa kahinaan ng tao o ang pagbigay o pagtanggap ng kahit anong bayad o benepisyo para makuha ang pahintulot ng isang tao na may kontrol sa iba pang tao. And the third column, the purpose or why is it done. Prostitution, sexual exploitation, pornography, forced labor or service, slavery, removal or sale of organs, web bondage, armed activities. In this column, ito ay ginagawa para sa exploitation o prostitution ng tao o iba pang form ng sexual exploitation sa pilitang paggawa, pagpapaalipin, involuntary servitude o ang pagtanggal at pagbenta ng mga lamang loob. Examples of force, fraud, and coercion drawn from actual cases. Force, physical assault such as being hit, kicked, punched, stabbed, strangled, burned, shot, raped. Fraud, false promises of a better job, good pay, new life in the U.S., better circumstances for one's family. Physical coercion, putting a gun to someone's head, holding a person at knife point. Psychological coercion, threats or intimidation against the victim or victim's family, including threats to physical harm a loved one. Examples of trafficking in persons. First, slavery, servitude, child sexual exploitation, forced marriage, several forms of marriage, child marriage, enforced prostitution, exploitation of prostitution. Penalties of violators. Any persons who buys or engages the service of trafficked persons for prostitution shall be finalized with imprisonment ranging from 6 years to 40 years and fine ranging from 50,000 to 5 million pesos. In these penalties, ang may sala ay maaaring parusahan ng pagkakakulong ng mula sa 6 na taon ang pinakamababa hanggang habang buhay ang pinakamataas at pagbabayarin ng multang 500,000 ang pinakamababa hanggang 5 million ang pinakamataas. Nagbabago ang parusa depende sa bigat ng partisipasyon ng trafficking. Paparusahan din ang mga taong gumamit ng serbisyo ng mga tao na traffic. Magbibigay sila ng 6 na buwang community service at magbabayad sila ng 50,000 na multa sa unang pagkakasala. Pag lumabag uli sila sa batas, ang multa ay magiging 100,000 na. May karampatang parusa para sa mga sindikato, dayuhan at opisyal ng pamahalaang lumabag sa RA 9208. Ang qualified trafficking in person ay papatawan ng pinakamabigat na parusa habang buhay na pagkakabilanggo at multa ng 2 milyon hanggang 5 milyong peso. Importance: an act to institute policies to eliminate trafficking in persons, especially women and children, establishing the necessary institutional mechanism for the protection and support of trafficked persons, providing penalties for each violation and for the purposes. Importance, layo ng batas na magpatupad ng mga patakaran at paraan para maprotektahan at suportahan ang mga biktima ng trafficking at maparusahan ang mga lumalabag sa batas na ito.
What is Anti-Rape Law of 1997? Republic Act No. 8353. An act expanding the definition of the crime of rape, reclassifying the same as crime against persons, amending for the purpose Act of No. 3815, as amended, otherwise known as the Revised Penal Code, and for the purpose. Article 266A. Rape. When and how committed. Rape is committed. Number 1. By a man who shall have carnal knowledge of a woman under any of the following circumstances. First, through force, threat, or intimidation. Second, when the offended party is deprived of reason or otherwise unconscious. Third, by means of fraudulent machination or grave abuse of authority. And last, when the offended party is under 12 years of age or is demented, even though none of the circumstances mentioned above be present. Number 2, by any person who under any of the circumstances mentioned in paragraph I hereof shall commit an act of sexual assault by inserting his penis into another person's mouth or anal orifice, or any instrument or object into the genital or anal orifice of another person. Penalties of violators. The law treats it as a single crime for which it prescribes a single penalty. In Republic Act 8353, when by reason or on the occasion of the rape, homicide is committed, the penalty shall be death. Importance. Number 8353 sets the age for determining statutory rape at below 12 years old. This means that in the Philippines, any sexual intercourse with a minor who has not reached the age of 12 is automatically regarded as rape, even if the minor consented or appeared to have voluntarily engaged in the sexual act.
What is Rape Victim Assistance and Protection Act of 1998 RA number 8505? An act providing assistance and protection for rape victims, establishing for the purpose of rape crisis center in every province and city, authorizing the appropriation of funds therefore and for other purpose. So, sabi dito, RA 8505, ito yung batas kung saan pinapangalagaan ang mga biktimang na rape. Binibigyan nila ng sapat na tulong or kung anong gusto nila. Sa isang madaling salita, ito'y hindi nila pinapabayaan. At ito'y batas na mahalagang tulong sa mga taong nabibiktima ng rape. Declaration of Policy. It is hereby declared the policy of the state to provide necessary assistance and protection for rape victims. Toward this end, the government shall coordinate its various agencies and non-government organizations to work hand in hand for the establishment and operation of a rape crisis center in every province and city that shall assist and protect rape victims in the litigation of their cases and their recovery. So, Declaration of Policy. So, yun na nga. Diniklara na ito kung saan ito'y dapat sundin ng lahat. And sa kahit anong lugar man, dapat ay talagang mabibigyan nila ng naayon na tulong at proteksyon ang isang biktima ng panggagahasa. Section 3, Rape Crisis Center. The Department of Social Welfare and Development, the Department of Health, the Department of Interior and Local Government, the Department of Justice, and the lead non-government organization with proven track record or experience in handling sexual abuses cases shall establish in every province and city a rape crisis center located in a government hospital or health clinic or in any other suitable place for the purpose of A. Providing rape victims with psychological counseling, medical and health services, including their medical legal examination, B. Securing free legal assistance or service when necessary for rape victims, C. Assisting rape victims in the investigation to hasten the arrest of offenders and the filing of cases in court, D. Ensuring the privacy and safety of rape victims, E. Providing psychological counseling and medical services whenever necessary for the family of rape victims, F. Developing and undertaking a training program for law enforcement officers, public prosecutors, lawyers, medical legal officers, social workers, and barangay officials on human rights and responsibilities, gender sensitivity and legal management of rape cases. And the last one is adopting and implementing programs for the recovery of rape victims. So, Section 3, Rape Crisis Center, ito yung mga departamento na kung saan sila yung tumutulong at nagproprotekta or nag-handle sa mga kaso ng pang-aabuso na dapat itatag sa bawat lalawigan at lungsod. Importance: to give assistance and protection for rape victims and the litigation of their cases and their recovery, the Congress likewise enacted Republic Act RA 8505 for the purpose establishing Rape Crisis Center in every province and city. Sabi dito, ang magiging kahalagahan nito at kagandahan ng batas na ito ay mas madami silang matutulungang mga biktima ng pang-aabuso. Mas mabibigyan na ng kaukulang proteksyon at sapat na tulong ang mga biktima. At dahil sa batas na ito, nasolusyonan na at natuldukan na ang sigaw ng mga biktima ng kaharasan. At sila ay nabibigyan na ng pansin ng ating lipunan, kung saan kaligtasan at proteksyon ang dapat nilang ibigay sa mga biktima gaya nila.